Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Anne Bella and I talk about many things, especially in the line of spirituality. Before I used to talk about my life in Russia, but now I am talking about my journey in spirituality and understanding different aspects of spirituality and life as a whole. So we are in this together and we learn every day. I love when a person would give me a comment and say, Anne, this is my viewpoint and I am open to learning, every day from different people through their experiences or their just point of view. So today I'll just be sharing my point of view on loss, letting go, and letting God. Um, I'm born. I was born and raised a Catholic, and all my life I've been in the Catholic Church. I was active member in different parishes that I was in, and when I moved to Russia, before I moved to Russia, of course, I had so many questions that I had in my religious journey, and it made me move away from being a religious person to being a spiritual person. And I started embracing lessons that I could get from other religions, picking out what made sense to me from Buddhist, from Islam, from Christianity. I am a Christian. I will not move away from being a Christian because I identify as a Christian. My background is Christianity. It is what has given me a foundation to where I am today. So most of the time I refer to the Bible, especially the New Testament. I still have conflicts with the Old Testament because there are some things that do not make sense to me and they contradict here and there. And that's why my focus is on New Testament and spirituality. And spirituality is wide. It has no religious boundaries. And that is where I am spiritually. So of course in this life journey we at times we experience loss, and I think from my previous video I had mentioned that I experienced loss in one of the most hardest way by losing my son. And I went through a long process to finally find healing, and every time I thought I had found healing, I realized I am still a few stages away from healing, because there were times I thought I have overcome depression. I have started talking to someone. I talked to a therapist about it, and after that I thought that's it, and now I'm better because I would talk about my son without having to cry, and I thought that was it. But I realized it's something that um their life has triggers, and there are times I would be triggered by something. But now this video is not to tell you again about the story. It's just basically to tell you the stages that I went through, and after that, how I have been able to manage the whole situation. And of course, I went through the whole loss and depression and healing process. And of course, after the loss, there was a time I was in denial. I didn't accept it. I was angry. I was trying to find someone to blame for whatever it was. Um, any person I could think of, uh, I would blame them. I would blame my parents. I would blame even my boss at that time. I would blame my colleagues. I would blame the person who was the father of that child. I literally blamed everyone for that loss. I couldn't just imagine they had nothing to do with it. It didn't make sense to me. So I went through all that. And then, of course, there was anger. And then after that, I started bargaining. And in the bargaining process is where I tried to numb that pain. I felt that I deserved the pain. And when the pain was not enough, I would find something that I was on the road to self-destruction. That is the point. I was on the road to self-destruction. I literally wanted to join my child because I felt that is where I deserve to be. I did not deserve to be on this earth anymore. And so I went into a very dark place. I got involved with drugs and drinking and all kinds of immoral actions I could think of at that time. And of course, out of that, I experienced sexual assault, and it made me even go deeper that hole. And so after that, immediately went into depression, and this is where there was extreme sadness. I was always fatigued. I was so numb. Like I felt so numb. I isolated myself from the world, from the family. I did not want anything to do with the world. I felt so hopeless. I felt so worthless, meaningless, all those negative words you could ever think of about yourself. That is what I thought about myself. And finally, after all that, I told myself, if I'm not going to die, clearly I have to start again with my journey. And that is when I went into acceptance. Sorry about that. So acceptance comes when I had to come I had to come to terms with the loss, and of course it was difficult, that acceptance. And of course the disbelief that this I've lost this child, I will never see this child again physically. I, it was quite hard. I had like on and off, accepting, coming back to disbelief, accepting, coming back to disbelief, and even sometimes going back to depression, and then again acceptance, and then disbelief. So I did a lot of back and forth, and then after that, there was now moments where I was guilty about the whole situation. What would I have done better to avoid the situation? The things that I did or the things that I didn't do that led to that situation. And guilt was quite a rough ride. It took a long time for me to get over that, and of course the regret and remorse. So after that, I had to turn to someone. So I sought the help of a therapist. I had 2 sessions for when I went to the therapist, and that's when I realized the importance of going to a therapist. The importance of seeking, psychological help. And I realized that moment that I realized that it's not only about the loss that I was dealing with. I was dealing with more than that. The things that I had not handled before before the time I got pregnant. So all that came in, and it was like a wave of emotions, and it was chaotic for a minute. And the good thing is this therapist helped me through that. And after that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. And so, of course, I went to the internet, looked for information on how to heal, and being intentional about the healing process. And so I started that. And anytime I would get an opportunity, I would share it with friends and family of what I was thinking, what I was feeling at that point about the loss. And I never stopped sharing until when I felt there's no need for me to share anymore. So basically, that is how I went through that whole process. Now, after that, of course, I felt I was healed, and of course, I had back and forth healing, and then going back to the whole, process, starting off from depression again, and slowly healing again, and yeah, and then we got to this point where I felt comfortable. Now, as I was looking for more information about, now I got interested in life of people who have had experiences like near death experiences, and uh, how 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 people can still contact those who have passed on, or how can we be assured that these people are in a better place? Because every time you have you have lost someone, people will tell you, oh, the person is in a better place. But how do you know this person is in a better place when you're not dead? You've never died, you've never experienced what death is. So it made me curious, and I went into that journey of listening to people who have had near death experience. I wouldn't call it near death experience, because most of them have actually died, because someone would even die as long as 45 minutes and then come back. So clearly that is death. Clinically they are dead. They've been considered dead for some time. So I wanted to know what the experiences were on the other side. And it was very comforting. And actually, it's one of the things that really helped me towards my healing journey. it it gave me some kind of peace and understanding that this person might, I might lost them physically, but they are here with me. It's only that we are on different realms. I am in the physical realm, of course, a more dense realm, and this other, my child is in a different realm. But still, there's always contact between us. We can still get to contact each other, and that was so comforting. It gave me a lot of peace and joy, and it really helped me to heal. So, to any person who is going through this journey of loss and healing, um, I would advise you to go and watch, especially on YouTube. There are so many channels and videos that have been posted there about people who have had near death experience. And when you hear about that, it changes your perception of so many things, like healing, about hell and heaven. And what I came to understand is literally there's no hell. Hell is what you create. It's your own, uh, you know choice. And God is a God of love, with no judgments, with no, um, negativity. He doesn't punish you for the wrongs you've done. It is our own guilt that punishes us. So it gave me comfort that one day I'll go there, and it's a wonderful place to go back to, where I came from, go back home. And another thing I also learned is, during this whole process, is that every time I was mourning, it yes, of course, there's that time you have to mourn the loss, but every time I was mourning, I was holding on to this person and not allowing the person to ascend, because they're attached to me, I'm attached to them. So our energies are in sync, and of course, they cannot let go when they see me in pain. So they have to keep hanging around in purgatory until when I can assure them that I am okay and I let go. So, and that one happened just recently, that I came to understand, that I had to let go. Maybe a couple of months ago, I didn't understand. Okay, I had let go, but I didn't understand the importance of letting go and really sitting down and telling the person that you've lost that you are letting them go, so that they can find peace. Because we say, may they find peace, but we still cling on that. We cry. Anytime we remember these people, we are so sad and, filled with a lot of sorrow, and we keep holding on to that. We feel that they should be here, but the more we hold on to them, the more they cannot let go. So it's a difficult thing to just say, I am letting you go, and deeply mean it with all intention that you're letting go of this person that you've lost. It's quite difficult. And so you have first to heal yourself before you now decide to heal both of you and the person that you've lost. Because of course, what you're doing is, when you let go, you are healing that person, you're healing their soul, and then they can ascend to go back to the source, and not keep hanging around in purgatory, in sadness and in sorrow. And I will share, in another video, of what I went through for me to actually get to that point, to understand the importance of letting go and letting God. So this is the first part of the video. I'll be sharing the second part of the video in my next video. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please go to my comment section and write there any of your comments. And don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day. Bye bye.